Hi guys, I'll be starting another sketchbook today. It's been a month since I finished my previous one and I just wanted to redraw the same picture that I drew for my first sketchbook, which is the scene from Spirited Away from Studio Ghibli. And I started off by picking out a sticker for the cover. After a while I chose this chibi one. Before I started my sketching and painting, I used some washi tape to make a border. I usually sketch with a colored pencil because I can go over with watercolor, and when if I use a mechanical pencil, that usually stays well with the colored pencil. If I use watercolor or gouache, it usually fades away, so I use that for sketching. The first time I did this painting, I used watercolor, but this time I'll be using gouache because one of the main reasons I even got it was so I could paint sceneries. I actually got the sketchbook the same time I got the other one, and that was in 2020, and it was actually my first watercolor sketchbook, any sketchbook that could actually hold the amount of water you need for watercolor. And it took me a really long time to finish the other one, and that's because I actually got a bunch of other sketchbooks in the meantime, and sometimes I just don't feel like drawing on paper. And a lot of the time these days I'm busy making my webtoon or doing digital art or either doodling in my other sketchbooks, so it took me a really long time to finish that one. This is actually the first drawing I made this month. Usually before I used to draw multiple drawings in a month, but now that I feel like I'm getting more busy with YouTube and my webtoon, so I don't really have the time. That's why it takes me longer to finish this. My goal is to finish this before 2024, so maybe around finish it in a year or hopefully even in a few months. As you can see, I started painting the clouds, and since I'm not really familiar with gouache, it's like my second or third time using it. It was a bit odd to use, and I didn't get the clouds to look how I wanted, but in the end I made it kind of acceptable. I saw the one from my previous sketchbook, and in that one the train had no details. The clouds looked slightly better, but they weren't accurate as to the picture, so it was quite fun doing it this time. I tried to be more detailed. Around this stage I started messing up, and I think the reason it's harder for me to fix my mistakes with gouache is, or the reason I make mistakes is because it's harder to wash off the paint from after using gouache rather than watercolor because it dissolves in the water quicker. So I think that's one of the reasons why my colors do look darker at times than I wanted them to. So I used a whiteout pen to try and draw the fence, but it just looked really bad, so I wasn't really happy about that. And until the end I just tried adding colors and making it look nice, but it was too dark. And as you can see, I did add details with the pen off camera so that I have more precision. And then it's time to take off the tape. The bottom piece was fine, but the top one I did end up ripping some of the paper. Then I added my start date and my end date, and I added my name on top. But the thing is, it's not usually how I write an S, so it looks a bit odd to me. But other than that, I didn't hate this drawing. And then on top of that, I did add more details off camera. I kind of tried to fix the clouds by adding more white paint, so it does look a bit different in the end. And here are the two paintings.